Most people see Xuanzang as a weak, weeping monk, but have you ever considered that he is the most ruthless character in the journey to the West? Part 1. The Great Stripping, from Identity to Mission. Xuanzang didn't just leave a city, he performed a clinical amputation of his own worldly identity. Before the first step was even taken, he had already died to the world. From the descent of the Golden Cicada to the Double Fork Ridge, these 7 trials were not random accidents. They were a systematic clearing of the desk. Xuanzang had to settle every human debt. He found his parents, avenged his father, and saw his mother's peace. This wasn't just plot. It was closing the account. In the red decimals of the world, he figured out exactly who he was, not just a scholar with a golden robe, but a soul carrying the weight of a nation's salvation. He embarked on the road with a singular why, the redemption of the great Tang. On the surface we see him trembling before tigers and collapsing in pits, but look at the hidden line. Every time he falls, he gets up. His followers are eaten, the stripping of the worldly aid. He continues alone. This is the growth of the invincible will. He is terrified, yes, but he never turns back. His fear is a biological response. His forward motion is a spiritual command. By the 7th tribulation at Double Fork Ridge, the social man is dead. Only the seeker remains. He has moved from relying on the emperor and his servants to relying on his courage. Part 2. The Crossroads of Two Buddhas. Power versus Discipline. At the Two-Boundary Mountain, Xuanzang reached the literal and metaphorical edge of the known. Lu Bo-chin, the hunter, represents the peak of human strength. He can kill tigers, but he cannot cross the border. When Liu stops, Xuanzang faces the ultimate surgical cut, the loss of human protection. He must now step into the realm of the supernatural. When he hears that voice from under the mountain calling, "Master, Master," it is the collision of 2 cosmic destinies. Neither knows they will end up as the Buddha of meritorious sandalwood and the victorious fighting Buddha. At this moment, they are just a fragile man and a trapped monster. Xuanzang's act of removing the gold seal is the act of unleashing the inner power. He releases the heart monkey, the raw, unbridled energy of the soul that has been suppressed for 500 years. Immediately after the union of power, Wukong, and purpose, Tang Monk, the 6 thieves appear: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. In the eyes of a practitioner, this is the most critical moment. Why does Wukong kill them instantly? Because to the awakened mind, the distractions of the senses are not people to be reasoned with. They are intruders that must be eliminated to achieve equanimity. The argument? The first conflict. Xuanzang scolds Wukong for the slaughter. This conflict is the core of the spiritual struggle. First, Xuanzang's perspective represents conventional compassion and the fear of the ego. He is still attached to the form of not killing. Secondly, Wukong's perspective represents absolute discernment. He sees the thieves for what they are, sensory illusions that rob the soul of its progress. The argument is surgical pain. Tang Monk is not ready to be as cold as the truth requires, and Wukong is not yet warm enough to carry the truth with mercy. This tension is the birth of the tight fillet consecration. It proves that power without a mission is dangerous, and a mission without power is impossible. Part 3. The Wisdom of the Guest. Slaying the 6 thieves for longevity. The philosophy of the guest. To live a long, joyful life without being drained, we must adopt the mindset of a guest. A guest enjoys the feast, admires the garden, and thanks the host, but they never try to carry the furniture home. As we say in Chinese, no flower stays red for 100 days, and no human relationship remains perfect for 1,000. In English, the poet Robert Frost captured the same surgical truth. Nothing gold can stay. When we realize that gold cannot stay, we stop fighting the universe. We stop letting the 6 thieves, our sensory attachments, rob us of our energy. We transition from holding on to what we call detached engagement, participating in the world with passion, but watching its changes with a calm, amused eye. The living example, Queen Margareta II of Denmark. If you want to see someone who has mastered the 6 thieves, look at Queen Margareta. For 52 years she wore the heavy crown of Denmark, but she never let the crown wear her. 1. Slaying eye-seeing joy, consumerism and vanity. Despite being a queen, she is famous for her daisy brooch and her simple artistic life. She didn't chase the sensory glitter of modern celebrity. She spent her spirit on painting, designing ballets, and translating literature. She chose sublimation over stimulation. 2. Slaying opinion, desire, caring what others think. She famously shops at local markets and smokes occasionally in public, unbothered by the 6 thieves of public criticism. She knows that opinion is a thief that steals your authentic self. 3. The ultimate surgical abdication. Her decision to step down was the ultimate act of cutting the attachment. Most people cling to power until their last breath, but she saw that her red flower of reign had reached its natural cycle. By stepping down, she preserved her health and her legacy. She chose to be a guest who leaves the party while the music is still beautiful. The secret to longevity. Queen Margareta once said, "I don't think I've ever felt like I was the queen. I'm just me doing this job." This is the secret to not being exhausted by life. If you identify too much with your role, the boss, the victim, the parent, the one who was wronged, the 6 thieves have a handle to pull you. But if you are just you, a traveler on the road to the west, you become invulnerable. To someone who finds it hard to let go of resentment, resentment is the most expensive spirit leak there is. It is like keeping a fire burning in your own heart, hoping the smoke will bother someone else. Treat your resentment like a guest who has overstayed their welcome. Thank them for the lesson, and then, like Wukong, show them the door. Less is more. Less resentment, more vitality. Less sensory noise, more inner music. Less holding on, more letting go. As you age, don't worry about the red flower fading. When the red petals of youth and passion fall away, they reveal the golden seed of wisdom underneath, and that seed, unlike the flower, can truly last forever. Queen Margareta gave up the throne to find her freedom. What throne of resentment or desire are you holding on to that is costing you your health? Maybe it's time to stop being the ruler of your pain and start being the guest of your joy.